Hello students, today we are continuing with the chapter 6, cell structure and functions. In the previous video I told you about what is a cell or how the cell is defined. Then we studied about the discovery of the cell, who discovered the first living cell, that is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. And then what is the cell theory, who proposed the cell theory and who modified it. So that's all we have discussed in the previous video. Now today we are continuing with the same chapter according to the number of the cells. Okay, organisms are categorized into two. That already I told you in the previous video, that according to the number of the cell, organism is categorized into two. It is called as unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means the organism body is made up of single cell only, and multicellular means many cells grouped together, organized together and form the organism body. In unicellular organism, you know about the example of amoeba, paramecium, bacteria. These are microscopic organisms. They are found in water bodies. They are microscopic. We cannot see them by our eyes, naked eyes, okay? But we require microscope to observe these cells. But when we are talking about the unicellular organisms, that means the single cell organisms. And this single cell organism, it performs all the activities inside a single cell. That means it takes the food, it digests the food, it absorbs, and as well as it removes the waste from that single cell only. It respires, that means it takes the oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. Whatever the activities are performed in multicellular organisms, those activities are performed in a single cell. Then only that it survives or it lives. Now, in this, here you can see the differences I mentioned over here, the differences between multicellular and unicellular organisms. So when we are talking about the types of cells present on the earth, we say that these cells, they are categorized into two. First is unicellular and the other one is multicellular. So now here we look at the differences between unicellular and multicellular. The first one is that unicellular organisms, they are made up of single cell. Like amoeba, paramecium, they are made up of single cell only. Their body is made up of one cell only. Whereas when we talk about the multicellular, for example, we are the example or the best example of multicellular organisms, and our body is made up of many cells. So here we say that multicellular organisms, they are made up of many cells. The next is second point, that unicellular organisms carry out all the functions in single cell. Just now I told you that respiration, digestion, excretion, whatever the activities are performed in a multicellular organism, the same activity is performed in a single cell. So all the activities are performed in a single cell. But in multicellular organisms, different cells have different role. So here, different cells perform different functions. Then, death of one cell leads to the death of an organism. Okay, in unicellular organism, if we talk about the amoeba is unicellular. If it dies, then that means one organism is dead. If one paramecium dies, we say one organism is dead. If one bacteria dies, then we say one organism is dead. So in this, what we say, that in unicellular organisms, if the cell dies, that means the death of an organism. But when we talk about the multicellular organisms, the cell death of one cell does not leads to the death of the organism. For example, if I say that I got injury, if I got injury on my skin over here, so due to that injury, the cells present over here will die. Okay, so these cells will only die, but not the death of that person. Not okay. So that means what? The cells will die in multicellular organisms, but the organism will not die. So here death of one cell does not leads to the death of organisms. The next is they don't show level of organization because their body is made up of single cell only. So they are showing only cellular level of organization. Their body is made up of single cell. But in multicellular organisms, different levels of organization can be seen. In the lower forms, organisms are there whose body is made up of only tissues. Then when we go further, means higher, the organisms are there who have only organ level of organization. Then other organisms are also there, those who are having organ system level of organization. So in this way we say that multicellular organisms show different types of level of organization, whereas unicellular organisms, they only show cellular level of organization. That is, they don't show, we can say that they are not showing any level of organization because their body is made up of single cell only. Now we can write down the examples for unicellular. Simple examples we can take. That is amoeba, paramecium, then euglena, or we say that blue-green algae. These all are example of unicellular organisms, even bacteria. Okay, and when we talk about the multicellular organisms, we have different examples like animals, plants, humans. Okay, so these all comes under multicellular. Now we'll discuss the next topic, that is the different types of cells based on their shape. This is the difference between the number or the type of cells on the basis of their number. Now next we are going to discuss about the type of cells based on their shape. So now here we will discuss about the types of cells on the basis of their shape. So when we discuss about the types of cell on basis of shape, then we say that the cells are categorized into two. One is having a irregular shape, and the other we say having regular shape. Okay, so when we talk about irregular shape, we say that we can have an example of amoeba. Amoeba is the organism, unicellular organisms which have irregular body shape. For example, I'll draw the diagram of amoeba over here. This is the diagram of amoeba, and this is the cytoplasm. This is nucleus. So what will happen when amoeba, because amoeba is present in the water, okay, it is an aquatic organism, when it has to take the food, then what will happen? Suppose here the food is over here, food is present over here, food particles. Now amoeba has to take the food. So what will happen? What it will do? This membrane of its body, it stretches its body towards the food particle. So if I draw the diagram over here, and this is the food particle. So what will happen? This membrane is stretched towards the food, and Now what will happen? In this way the food is taken inside the cell, and this region which is formed, this structure is formed, it is called as food vacuole. It is called as food vacuole. And these structures which are formed, this extension of the body of amoeba is called as pseudopodia. It is called as pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means it derives from two words, pseudo and podia. Pseudo means false and podia means feet. So that means amoeba does not have a proper legs like us. Okay. So what it does, it extends its body part and take the food. So the extension of the body part called as pseudopodia, or we call it as false feet. So in this way, again after digestion occurs, waste is released and the nutrients are absorbed by the cell. Now when we take about the regular shape, organisms having regular shape. For example, our skin cells. Our skin cells appear to be like this. With nucleus in the center, and then over here means there is a regular pattern in the skin cell. Then we have the nervous tissue, nerve cell appears like this. This is the nerve cell. So that means we say that some cells are irregular in their shape. Some cells, they have a regular body structure or regular shapes, regular size. Now here is the next topic, that is division of labor. Okay, what do you mean by division of labor? Actually, when we talk about unicellular organisms, just now I told you about unicellular organism. That means single cell organism whose body is made up of single cell. So all the activities like digestion, respiration, then excretion and other activities, these all are carried out within a single cell. That means one cell is responsible for performing all these activities. That means there is lot of burden on one person. If single person used to do the complete work, that means, for example, if I say in a office, okay, boss is not there and only one person is there, or if we say only one person is there who has opened his office. Now he don't have any supporting member or any staff in his office. So what will happen? That single person has to do all the work, all the official work. So that means there is a great burden, the big burden on that one person. The same thing happens in the unicellular organism, that a single cell is performing all the activities of the organism. But when we talk about multicellular organisms, multicellular means many cells are present. Many cells are present, and in this different cells perform different functions. Already we have discussed this thing in the differences. So different cells, they perform different functions. So that means what will happen? Work is distributed among the different cells of the organism body, and then when the distribution of work is done, we call this as division of labor. But this division of labor does not exist in unicellular organisms because the cell is only one. So all the activities is to be performed by the single cell. But when we talk about the multicellular organisms, different cells are performing different functions. So here the labor, the work has been distributed. So workload of a cell decreases. So this means division of labor.